What's going on, guys? Brian here, representing Neo Overlay Network. Gonna go over some going second options with this deck and what you can do to try to help you make that push, I guess, going second if you are gonna go online. I say online because here in Cali, our locals are closed. So, yeah, just want to go over some going second options and what you could side in if you are going second. So for me, these two hand traps right here, physical hand traps, monster hand traps to be exact, are the big ones that are the format defined. Just this covers a lot of things. Ash, it just covers everything, so you still gotta run it. And then Lancia is very powerful this format because a lot of graveyards do want to banish stuff. And it's very cheap, both of these now, thanks to the multiple reprints. I think the commons are for Ash Blossom going down, so yeah. And then obviously things to side out would be, I would say you would want to take out the Apocryas first things first. Take out the Apocryas for the Ash, because Ash is just universal. Then you're going to probably want to take out the White Dragon. And where is it at? The Armor Nijutsu Art of Alchemy. I know the draw power is important, but it's not going to be important as breaking the board. Besides, more so than anything, you're going to want to be able to stop your opponent from doing their thing so you can then go into what you need to do. Establish the log, hold it down, and then bring out Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. And yeah, just pretty much go for the OTK if it does, the opportunity is there, or go for the board wipe. And then since you do run Abyss Dweller and Tornado, you are going to be able to have ways to stop that from happening. Then at this point, I would say since you took out one of the targets for the Art of Super Transformation, you take out one. You're going to take out one of them. Go ahead and then take out the Mass Ninja Ibisu because he's not going to be important going second. And there you have it. You're down to 40 at this ratio right here if you were to take out the 2 Alchemy, the 1 Ibizu, and the White Dragon Ninja to keep it at 40. Now, if you do want to run at 42, because if you are afraid of drawing into your Garnet, which is, I would say, the Goliath. And then even on top of that, probably the Simorgh and the statue. If you don't want to draw into your Garnet, you can bump it up even more by throwing in the 3 Dark Rulers, which will bump it up to 43, which is not too crazy. Once it gets to 45, it starts getting consistent. 44, excuse me. Right there. Since if you don't want to draw into your Garnets, throw in the Dark Rulers, and then that's a pretty good, comfortable establishment because you already have your Dino Rest or Pancratops, which can help you break boards in itself, and it is Godly One of. And on top of that, you do have Double or Nothing just to cheese out a win. And this is running at 44. I would love for Evenly Matched to get a reprint, but if you can't afford Evenly Matched, then throw in the Raigeki into the side deck. If you do feel comfortable with that, throw in the Raigeki. And if your opponent is, or if your locals or online, you run into a lot of matchups that have level 4s or just generic links you can link off, definitely go for Mind Control, a Godly One of, and very, very good card to this day. And then for even more, I guess, board wiping capability, go for the Feather Duster, the Heartpiece Feather Duster, because it's just a good card, and it's got a reprint. So even with the last 2 extra deck slots, I would probably dedicate that to a Monster Reborn just to help you extend even more. I'm trying to keep a budget in mind to go for the Monster Reborn. And then for the last card in the side deck, it really comes down to personal preference, but you can even take out the Apocryas and just throw in a Red Reboot. I would say Red Reboot just to cover all grounds for a lot of trap decks. Throwing the last card would be a Red Reboot since it is a Godly One of. And since you are going first, either way, you want to stop them from sending stuff. So trap decks aren't going to be a thing because you want to go up against trap decks because if you're able to stop them from even setting traps, thanks to the Simorgh Log and High 5 Rainbow Magician or 5 Arc Rainbow Magician. Tier 3, it offers win cons that can take some people by surprise. The biggest obstacle that makes this really, really budget, in my opinion, is just evenly. Everything else here has been reprinted already, and yeah, I'd say that's it for the side decking. I mean, mainly you just want to take out your one of your two little bricks, I guess, the Ibisu and the White Dragon Ninja. Ibisu does come up, but not very often. And then since draw power won't be necessary in this type of profile, you could choose to run. Oops, you could choose to run possibly the One Red Reboot or the Godly One of them Reborn, the Heartbeast Feather Dust, the Regeki, instead of the draw power, which is the Armor Nijutsu Art of Alchemy, which says you draw 2 by sending a Nijutsu art card, minimum 1, to go into your deck. And then the Pockers could easily be sided in and out. If there's nothing that, if your opponent's playing a link based deck or if it's a pendulum based deck, then you could side those out. Try to get some, try to get something, like anti spell fragrance. That's always an option too with this deck. But it just, for me, since I'm running a lot of spells that help me get there, it kind of doesn't really not get there, just get advantage. I wouldn't really want to run it, but there is a way to build it as such where you do run anti-spell fragrance, and I'll show that later. I'll do that later, but right now I just like this build because White Dragon Ninjas helps me not run Solemn Judgment because I don't want to run it in this deck. I'd rather run some of the other ninja-based cards that can offer some pretty interesting interactions, and on top of that, are searchable thanks to the ninjas themselves. And the side deck is pretty cheap, guys. Other than Evenly, you know, you could possibly get away with maybe a Regeki, some Dark Holes, with some Kaijus, because Kaijus are some targets for these guys too. But that's it for this video, covering the bases for the going second cards. Anything I missed or anything you guys would suggest for this going second build, first and going second options, let me know in the comment section. And that's pretty much it for me, guys. Brian with Neo Overlay.